Classic League Podcast time!
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 248 of the Classic Elite Podcast. My name is Scott, and I've got Dustin with me. Dustin, what's going on, man?
I slept for 4 hours last night.
Ooh, wow.
One way or another, this should go pretty good.
Well, I'll snap my fingers for you if I see you nodding off.
Oh, goodness.
You know what would help that?
What's that?
If I got a mixer that would allow you to hear the audio that I do, and when you could hear Zarek's voice rip in with Classic Elite Podcast time, it would just bring the second wind.
Yeah.
Instead, you're stuck with this awkward dancing. Who gets hyped about doing that?
I have to play it in my head. I think I've got the timing down.
You do. You really do. Well, it was weird when I was editing the new intro together, when I was just seeing how it kind of flowed. Whenever the vocals would cut down and it didn't have my voice over it introducing the show, I would think that I screwed up editing somehow, and I'm like, oh no, this is the original track that I need to talk over. I'm so used to saying something or hearing something when that comes down that it was trippy to edit that together. So, yeah, man. Outside of being tired, loopy, whatever, how's the week been?
Pretty good.
Good,
productive, tiring. I went back to the gym for the first time in a minute.
Gym or jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
Awesome. Good to hear. I have not. I've
Cheers.
I've got a beer, so I'll feel good, right? Yeah, man. My sister's getting married this weekend, so it'll be really nice to have that kind of past us. It'll be a lot of fun. She's marrying a cool dude, so I'm looking forward to the event and all of that. But no more bachelor parties, man. No more tux rentals. The odds are there's only one person that might put me in a wedding. Otherwise, I think I'm good to go. Although I do have one bachelor party in November. Okay. So that what it is. That's going to be a really good time, though. Even though I'll be stuck in Cleveland, that'll be a really fun time. So yeah, man. We're going to be giving a game away tonight as far as announcements go. Hob, who is it's a new game that came out yesterday, September 26th, on PlayStation 4 and PC. We're going to have a member of the development team from Runic Games on to talk about Hob and whatever they grew up playing. I mean, that's what our interview questions are. So depending on which developer or team member we get, that'll tailor the questions, but it should be a lot of fun. So we're going to stream that interview next week. We'll make an announcement on Twitter. It'll be Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. And then we'll do a normal podcast on either a different day or after the interview. So, all right. Dustin, Patrick Klepek's podcast with his wife, Till Death Do Us Part, is what it was called.
It's a good title.
It's a very good title for a husband and wife.
Yeah.
And it's maybe 20 episodes, so it's not like an ongoing thing. It was more like Serial, where it's bite-sized. So I wanted to bring that up. And if anyone was listening last week and was wondering about the Patrick Klepek Horror Podcast, that's what it is. So, yeah, man. Any announcements before we get to the Retro League Podcast, Best Game of 1992?
Nope, let's do it.
All right. So, for any first-time listeners, if people joining for the first time, we are helping the RetroLeague.com, the Retro League Podcast, determine the best video games of 1992. And this is a voting thing over on their forum. If you'd like to participate, you can go over to the RetroLeague.com. We've made it a tradition where every year we fill out the bracket live as it's kind of going on, and it's NCAA style. So they had like a Super Nintendo bracket and a Genesis bracket, all that kind of stuff. So, Dustin, we're to the Final Four. This is big stuff.
This is it.
We have The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past for the Super Nintendo, which is not a surprise that it's here. I would have picked that as the number one seed of the whole tournament.
Yeah.
Versus X-Men in the arcade. I am impressed by X-Men making it this far.
Yeah. Right.
Are we gonna be honest, or are we gonna be jerks?
Ask myself that every day. I mean, Zelda.
Okay,
It's Zelda.
It's it is, and it's better to be truthful, right? We have scruples over here. Also, in the other bracket, we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2 against Wolfenstein 3D. I think like this one's pretty tough. Oh, shout out to Hugh Johnson, co-host of the Retro Leagues in chat. Yeah, I made an argument against Wolfenstein last week for Mario because I thought that it had a little bit more variety in the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'd be a hypocrite if I didn't make the same argument with Sonic 2, but I kind of don't want to. I don't know what it is about Sonic 2 that I just don't love it. I don't know what it is.
The first game is really nostalgic for you, right?
Very much so, yeah.
I think that's why. It's probably the same reason I don't like Mega Man 3 all that much.
Okay.
It's an inferior game that has too much slowdown.
That's the real big problem with Mega Man 3, is the slowdown is atrocious. I do like the slide mechanic, but I never feel like when I go back and play Mega Man 2 that I'm missing the slide or I'm missing the charge burst. So there were neat additions, but it never feels like I'm missing it when I go back. I think it's just a testament to how much I really like 2. So, I don't know. Sonic or Wolfenstein?
I mean, Wolfenstein 3D is probably more important.
That's a good enough answer for me, and I would agree with that. Plus, I wouldn't mind exploring right now. The mood I'm in right now, kind of looking around for a key, looking around for the kind of machine gun, Gatling gun. I don't know. I'm in a Wolfenstein mood, I guess.
Mecha Hitler.
Yeah. Mecha Hitler was... Dude, how intense was that? The first time you saw Mecha Hitler as a kid, it was like, oh my god. It was so hard, too, running around those pillars.
Yeah.
All right, so Wolfenstein it is, and we have, not surprisingly, Legend of Zelda winning 83% or almost 84 to 16%. Wolfenstein, though, has a 3 vote lead, 52% to 47%. It is really close. So, if you would like to tip the scales for Sonic or more in favor of Wolfenstein. See, one of my favorite podcasters, Scott Johnson, says Wolfenstein all the time, and it drives me nuts. But it's in my head now, where I second guess the pronunciation. But,
you say Wolfenstein.
There you go. That actually, I don't know, it's like slightly stereotypical, but like spot on too. Yeah, so Wolfenstein 3D is in the lead right now. All right, so I guess if people are just hanging around for when we're going to give the code away on for Hob, we're just going to do a little random.org thing. We'll just see who's here, assign numbers. Yep. And we're going to talk about news, then we'll give the game away, then we'll do YouTube channel of the week, what we've been playing, and comments. Just as a rundown of what you can expect. All right, so news is going to be a little light this week. It wasn't the most exciting stuff going on, but something that caught my attention that I thought was pretty great was Halo has more backwards compatibility with Xbox One. Halo 4 is now compatible with Xbox One, which is awesome. I really liked the very first part of Halo 4 and doing co-op missions with you guys.
Yeah.
But I didn't play it all the way through. Like Reach is backwards compatible. I loved Reach. Did you ever play that?
I don't think so.
It had the neatest ending to I could imagine in a Halo game. I guess I can spoil it, right?
It was Rogue One before Rogue One was Rogue One?
Actually kind of in a way.
Yeah. What a ripoff.
Yeah, stupid Gary Whitta stealing. He is a big gamer. I bet he did play Halo and just straight up took the story. He was one of the writers for Rogue
All I
One.
got to do is give these guys stupid names. Boom, Star Wars.
Star Wars. But in Halo Reach, so you know that the guy has to die or whatever. You know that as you're playing him. Mm-hmm. So the final scene, when you know you're going to die and the game's going to be over, instead of it being a cutscene and explaining things, you just have an endless wave of enemies. So you have this little glimmer of hope that you can keep surviving. Then eventually you get hit enough where your helmet glass breaks all the way through. Mm-hmm. And that's when it hits you like, there's no getting out of this. I cannot shoot my way out of this game. And it ends with you dying in the battlefield. You can't control it. But you know that you did what the objective of the game was. And I was like, wow, in a Halo game? That was a really neat player experience. Because they could have done exposition with that.
Yeah.
But to be playing the ending like that was really, really cool. Also, Halo 3 is 10 years old. So Halo 5 had some like anniversary map rotation stuff. So if you were into Halo 3 and you have 5, you can go in and play some old 3 stuff. I didn't play it much. I played with Tony and we did some Halo 3. Mm-hmm. And he was showing me all the cool stuff, the callbacks that were different from 5 to 3. And he also said 3 felt slightly different. As the game, like it plays like it used to, and not like a retro redone version in the new engine or whatever. It's cool. So if you're a Halo fan, things are awesome for you right at this moment.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I wish I played enough of it that I could get stuff like that, but it would go right over my head.
Me too. Yeah, I wouldn't know the nuance of this different weapon rotation that's not even possible in the new one. There was like boosts and stuff that were different, I guess. It was cool. At one point, Tony and I ended up in a Halo 3 Capture the Flag map, but I was given the Halo 1 pistol. All like no textures. It was cool looking. Definitely a lot of fun. Next up from Rock Paper Shotgun, I saw an article. Dustin, did you happen to read about this Valve thing?
There's a rumor that there's a 4-player adventure game coming from Valve.
It says that there's a former Valve artist who's got a portfolio with a mystery co-op fantasy game. So,
mystery co-op fantasy. I didn't hear Cyberpunk once. I'm not interested.
Oh, did you have you seen anything about The Ruiner? Sorry, this isn't news. It's a new game that came out.
It sounds familiar.
It's Cyberpunk, kind of like red and black colors. Okay. It's maybe a twin stick shooter type, but you're a guy on a level instead of it being like Robotron or Geometry Wars or something like that.
Okay.
I heard it's really, really fun and difficult and cyberpunk. So I was wondering if you had heard about it or not.
Seems familiar, but I can't picture anything in my head.
You may have saw a trailer or something. So I'll send it to you. It's cyberpunk, so you'll like it. Hey, I heard good things about the first screenings of Blade Runner 2049 as well.
Yeah, that sounds good.
It's encouraging, right?
Yeah.
Derek, maybe they can make up for all of our issues with... I love debating Derek about...
Suck in this
one. You know those Red Letter Media guys that Mr. Plinkett reviews? Like, they do a show called Half in the Bag where they just talk about old... Maybe it was review. They had a half-hour discussion about Blade Runner.
Okay.
And it made a lot of sense why I didn't like the movie that much. Hearing them talk about it, because I saw a version... I think I saw the final director's cut, which still has the weird unicorn confirmation Deckard's a replicant stuff that everyone but Ridley Scott hates. So
yeah,
I'm excited to see this new movie. Should be a lot of fun. Ooh, we got pumpkins here, Dustin.
Yeah, we do.
Got emojis for you.
I got a new prop. I don't know if it's cut off.
Oh, a scary bunny.
Yeah, scary rabbit on a bike.
What's that from?
Kmart.
Oh, awesome. Okay. Well, I never know with you.
Yeah.
You're like Dennis Miller with video game references, so I thought maybe that was like a PS1 character or something. So, yeah, I guess Valve might be working on a co-op fantasy game. I would love that. I adored Portal and Portal 2.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know that, especially Portal 2, I know I enjoy their co-op.
It's a card game.
Maybe we should do a co-op run through a Portal 2 again, and we'll lie about it being a speed run because we've already done this together. But it was 5 years ago, so we don't remember any of the puzzles.
That would be great.
That would be fun. That was when it was Let's Plays. You'd record yourself and then upload that instead of just live stream it, get the one take.
Mm-hmm.
God, it's so much better now. More convenient the world is.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Keep your fingers crossed the Valve's going to do something besides Dota and hats. I can't blame them for doing that, but the jealous person in me says, come on. Throw us a bone, us fans. Next up, the Atari Box is incredibly good looking. Did you happen to see any renders of this?
Yes, it looks amazing.
Yeah, so chat, you'll want to check this out. It looks unbelievable. It's about, I don't know, the size of maybe 2 Apple TVs or 2 Rokus, it looks like, next to each other.
Yeah.
From a width and height standpoint, it looks like a modern version of the 2600.
It looks like if Apple made a 80s future machine.
Yes, that's a really, really, really good analysis of it. Or, not analysis, example. Whatever. You know what word I'm trying to say. I'm just forgetting it right now. But it's black. It's got a little bit of wood grain touch. It's just sleek looking. The really interesting part is it's going to be around $300, it looks like. Mm-hmm. It's going to run an AMD APU. So it's going to have a CPU and a graphics processor all bundled into one of those AMD APUs, which is similar to what Xbox and Wii use. Does the PlayStation 4 also have an AMD APU? I forget what they did. Now, the Nintendo Switch has a NVIDIA K1 chip. What is it? Oh, that's great on the microphone sounds, Dustin. What is? What's that little doll you've got there?
It's the guy from Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yes, the pudgy
character.
Yeah, I love that movie. I knew nothing about Shaun of the Dead when I saw it. My brother's a huge horror fan and loves zombies, so I sat down to watch it with him in college. We got Molson Triple X. You ever had that?
Oof, that sounds like a fun time.
Horrible beer, but high alcohol. So as a college kid, you take it. And we sat around and we drank that, and I thought it was going to be like Dawn of the Dead type of traditional zombie movie. And no, it was Edgar Wright, and it was really, really good. So I adore that movie. And that's an awesome figurine. I feel like I should get that and Simon Pegg for my brother.
I was trying to get him to stand on something, but
I heard. But yeah, the Atari Box. So it's going to run Linux on top of those specs I was talking about. So a $300 Linux box. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what to expect. It's going to come preloaded with a bunch of Atari games. Did you happen to? There was a journalist, games guy, Frank Cifaldi. I've heard the name before. I don't know him very well, but I saw a tweet he had that was like, "Gotta love when mainstream media talks about games." Did you know that Atari made Pac-Man? And he linked like a CNBC article or something. It's like, that's funny. Well, actually, so so aside from being an a dump for Atari software. A Linux machine, I don't even know what to expect. Is this another Ouya? Am I supposed to expect to use this like a Linux machine? Like, could I get on Skype? Could I don't have any clue what to expect. Is this just because it's Linux, a $300 emulator box?
This is there's about 7,000 people in the world. 5 years from now, they're going to open up one of those storage bins that you see in people's attics, and they're going to go, oh, yeah, I forgot I bought this.
Yeah. Yeah, Hugh says, nice renders, bad vague specifications and price. It's kind of tough to argue with that. Boy, a $300 Linux machine. If Steam couldn't get it going, I don't know if there's enough nostalgia for Atari software right now.
Well, the thing about Atari nostalgia is none of those games are good.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much true.
So you can have if you're super nostalgic about it, you can play those games and be like, yeah, I remember those good times. If you're going back to it without that, you're just like, well, these were almost video games.
Yeah, there's a couple that I think still hold up well. Like Kaboom is still really fun.
Mm-hmm.
A functional, a true Pong is still very fun. Otherwise, wouldn't you just want to play MAME?
Right.
Like, it's not impressive to play the 7800 version of Pac-Man anymore. At the time, it was amazing, but
yeah,
I'm very excited for outlets to get a hold of these things.
Hugh says, for $300, you can get a Raspberry Pi, a Kindle Fire, a Roku, an Atari Flashback with a little bit left over.
If that's not perspective, I don't know what is. Now, if this was an $80, $100 emulator box and it looked like that, the aesthetics alone might get me to sucker buy one of these.
Yeah. I mean, it does have some rad wood grain paneling.
It does, and it just enough to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
I love that whoever the person that took the picture was has the same shitty furniture that I do. That's like particle board that you like put together. If you notice, it's not like it's like on shitty Walmart furniture that I have as like an entertainment center. I thought it was really funny. They had this beautiful photo on really crappy cheap furniture, and maybe that was intentional. I doubt it, but maybe it was. Thomas Silverfang mentions Donkey Kong as well. That was a pretty big deal. Night Fox says they could remake the 2600 for that price, and it would sell way better. Yeah, that is a huge issue with this Atari box. There is no cartridge slot, and I get it because the size would be kind of ridiculous if you try to make a cartridge slot thing. Mm-hmm. It wouldn't look as cool, but I guess that'd be a nice little novelty to have in it. Not like people would take advantage of it, but even just like a Retron 5, dump the cart, just to fake it all the way there would be cool.
You know what I'll buy? If Ben Heck gets one of the buried ET carts from that landfill.
Okay.
And takes the guts out of this thing and puts it in one of the ET carts, I'll buy that.
All right. He did get one of those. I don't think it was ET. It was one of the other games buried, but he got it and took it apart and cleaned it and got it working. And a 1 or 2 part video series, yeah. I forget which one it was. Maybe something Phoenix? I don't know. But look, if you look up Ben Heck, Atari landfill, you'll see some stuff.
Custer's Revenge.
Yeah. No, Atari sold out of those. Everyone likes porn. That's another. I would have never known about that if it wasn't for the angry video game nerd.
All right, right.
Zarek says, my mother found a trash bag full of Atari carts. She left them at my house. I still haven't opened the bag. You
There's
know,
another name for that. It's called garbage.
yeah, you can take it to the recycling center and be thoughtful.
Actually, one of those might be rare. Go through them. Just make sure.
Yeah, that would. Silver Fang says Defender wasn't bad. Yes, Defender wasn't bad.
It was actually.
I like
that's
Defender.
my earliest memory.
Like a vault, like period.
Yeah, that's the first thing I remember is playing Defender on Atari 2600 at my grandmother's house.
Wow. Wait, how do you remember nothing from like the first 2 years?
Not really.
The only I remember a little bit, and the only reason I know that I was 2 years old when I remember these things, or maybe younger, was because we moved when I was 2.5.
Okay.
My very first memory is being in my crib and the light being shut off.
Yeah.
Not scary or anything. It was just, oh, that's what that was. And my dog biting me.
It's like playing Defender, getting a Nintendo, basic training.
Okay. Well,
Something like that.
it's a good thing you did 2 tours and are on a video game podcast, right? Hey, see you, Babs. Thanks for stopping by. Night Fox says my housemate has a Saturn that has all the American released games for it, but he keeps it in a box. What a waste!
Oh,
Yeah, I'm that way too. I bought 2 vinyls off eBay that were still sealed from 1986. Immediately opened them up. I got Madonna's True Blue. An unbelievable album. Genesis Invisible Touch, unbelievable album.
yeah.
So but I had to open them. They even still had the Madonna still had. They used to give posters away of the finals. It's awesome. Also, Janet Jackson's Control came out in 1986. Like those 3 albums had all the hit songs from like 86 and 87. It's incredible.
Yeah.
I like 80s pop music, so we got good stuff there. All right, man, we got one other bit of news. The voice actor strike looks to be on hold. It looks like they are suspended. They appear to have some terms met or agreed upon. Essentially, like the per diem has gone up a little bit. The big thing to take away from this, though, is they are not going to get those residual rights of sales.
Okay.
That was really, it felt like that was the big thing in the news as far as voice actors, being treated the way that movie voice actors are and stuff. But they got a higher per diem thing, and there's some other details about it. But I was listening to the Bombcast guys talk about it, and the not having the royalties after the fact was the big thing, and I couldn't imagine that they would have agreed to stuff without that. The way that it was reported.
Yeah.
They reported it like they were just going to shut down the video games if they didn't get royalties.
Games,
yeah. So, cool. Nobody likes a strike to go on a real long time. Period. We had a big strike on one of our companies here in town. We have a big Cooper tire manufacturing facility. And that strike was insane. And it was over a couple cents an hour of new hires going forward, but the current people had to strike for it because it was a union. And it was months, and they almost left our town, which would have devastated us. So I'm glad that it seems to be small. Also, Heroes, the TV show, destroyed by the writer's strike. So I don't want to see any video games getting crushed like that.
Yes. Oh, goodness. I forgot about that.
So, all right, man. Well, let's give away a video game.
All we really need is Nolan North, right?
Yeah, him and Troy Baker. Okay, yeah, those two.
We got
were
those
good.
2 guys, and we're good.
Then and Jennifer Hale from Mass Effect fame.
I don't know. I think Troy Baker could do a pretty good Jennifer Hale impersonation.
But you know what? He probably could. He did Was he or Nolan North the one that did Smeagol and Shadow of Mordor? One of those two did a really, really good Smeagol, I think. Maybe it was Leon O'Brien that did it. The dude that's done like Illidan and all the World of Warcraft people.
Yeah.
Might have been him. Either way.
Jim Cummings. That's all we need.
Okay, hold on. Gotta go to Google, so I gotta get Jim Cummings up. Let's see. Voice actor. Oh, he's from Youngstown. I've got a lot of family from Youngstown. Hell yeah.
Hey, cool.
I already love him. 400 roles as a voice actor. Oh, he's on some Disney. Oh, wow. Darkwing Duck. Like, okay. Yeah, I've heard this guy a million times. I'm terrible at voice actor names.
Yeah.
Feels rude. So, all right, man. I am going to, I guess, make a new document. And I'm just going to write down names. So, who here would like to be entered in a quick raffle for Hob on PC? What we'll do is a couple of minutes here. We'll talk about our YouTube channel of the week. And once that's done... Uh-oh, Dustin.
Week.
I just started dropping frames.
Uh-oh.
How's the stream health? Are we still live, everybody? Okay. It says we're okay. We'll see what OBS does. Up. Went down real quick. Okay, it says we're back up. Okay. All right, so we got Night Fox as the first entrant. Zarek. Right, we got Zarek.
See, I think Babs took off.
Babs took off.
Silverfang took off.
She said good luck to everybody. Yeah, so we're going to give it a couple of minutes here. Nope, not live at all. Let's see here.
That's no bueno.
Oh. Restart OBS. Okay, I'm going to reset here too real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a bummer that the stream's acting all wonky. Okay, real quick. Okay. Alrighty, I think we are... Okay, I think we're back. I think we're good to go. I'm not sure why that's happening, Dustin. It doesn't appear to be a 1080p issue. Because it seems to be fine. So, alright, we're back, we're live. So yes, sorry about the dropping there. JC, I know you're a PC gamer. If you like your name in the hopper, let us know. So Dustin, this week, while we're waiting for entrance here, it's YouTube channel of the week. Do you have someone to feature this week?
I do.
All right.
YouTube channel of the week.
Week.
Oh, I do have Comcast.
Yeah, but I'm the one streaming it, and I have Spectrum, a wonderful old Time Warner.
I bet the suck of Comcast is just sucking the bandwidth.
Probably.
It's like a bandwidth black hole that's
just
taking all of it. Okay, so our YouTube channel of the week is...
by the way, I think it's a PC. I think it's on my end. Because all of a sudden, like in OBS, frames just start dropping. And then I reset OBS and it's fine. So I think I've got a process going haywire on my computer right now. It's the Goldbergs, man. I wasn't willing to cut Plex so I could record Goldbergs.
So it's
speaking of Patton Oswalt, he narrates that show. All comes first, full circle.
Oh man, it all leads back to Patton Oswalt.
Yes. Okay. So John learned
again. Because the Annotated Symphony of the Night episode 17 just released.
I saw that.
And it's still awesome. He talks about the Shmoo and the Crissaegrim.
Oh, I've always wanted to know more about those.
Well, now you can.
Yeah, I've heard Zarek also mention stuff about the annotated Symphony of the Night. So, yeah, you've spread the word, man. Okay, so now that I don't know what those things you mentioned he talks about are, what are they?
Okay, so the Shmoo is an enemy in the inverted library.
Okay. Well, so does the library, does it invert because you're on your second playthrough and the castle is flipped? Or does something happen when you're in the room?
You're inside the flipped castle.
Okay.
And if you kill those enough, you get a rare drop called the Chrysagrum.
Okay.
Which is a sword that slashes multiple times with one press of the button while you can still move. So the damage output is outrageous.
So now that's what that guy does, right? The enemy? Sorry, I was typing in the chat.
No, that's
what you do.
That's what you do. You kill the enemy, you get the Chrysagrum, it's the sword, you slash a bunch.
That's got to be pretty satisfying.
It breaks the game. It's awesome.
Like the never mind. I was going to say the X slash and Chrono Trigger, but that's not the one I'm thinking of. There's like a super thing at the very end of the game that you can get, and it's optional. I forget exactly what it is. I remember Ryan Davis and Patrick Klepek being blown away when they hit that part in the playthrough they did on Giant Bomb years ago. Sarek says, it's the Ninja Gaiden sword. It turns Castlevania into Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that.
That's pretty cool. Just one hitting everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Flying around. Except you're not... Well, are you stuck by respawning birds?
No.
Okay.
Not in Symphony of the Night.
Because there are NES Castlevania games that kind of crap can happen.
Yeah. Well, in the clock tower, you do have Medusa heads, and those things suck pretty hard.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get the gears to line up just the right way to get into secret rooms.
Oh, in Symphony. Okay.
Yeah.
I was picturing... They also use that in 3. On the gears and the clock. And that can piss right off. That's really, really hard. Cool. Well, John learned. Really good channel. That guy does really, really good stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome.
So, all right. Well, we have, let's see. Last person, Sorry, Derek, let us know if you'd like your name in the hopper. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and I'll get random.org up, and then we'll be good to go.
Hey, Zarek, on Racket Boy, I see that Sword Quest Waterworld is somewhat expensive. And I saw that you pulled out Sword Quest earlier, so let me know.
I don't know what I accidentally just went to. I had a typo in random. And I'm currently on a site called radom.org. And it looks like the website that I made for my very first business, like MIS class. We are all going to look at this beauty together. Putting it in chat. There's a guy in a Winnebago, and it's just Times New Roman artist and song names that were... I don't know what Scrobbed means. Do you know what Scrobbed is?
No.
And these are happening just a couple days ago. Did he just get this domain? Are we his first visitors?
Total song Scrobbled.
Well, I don't know what a Scrobbled song is. Great. Okay. So now we are at random.org. All right. Oh, yeah, there we go.
If only it was Sword Quest Waterworld. That's hard to say. Sword Quest Waterworld.
All right. So we are going to... All right. So the winner is Silverfang. Congratulations,
Hey,
Silverfang.
That's awesome.
So either follow us on Twitter and send us a DM, or you can send us an email at classicelite@gmail.com. Or if you trust chat, I can drop it in chat. But I'd like to send you a private message, or YouTube. You can send us a private message on YouTube, and we will be able to send that over to you. But yeah, classicelite@gmail.com, classic L337. And again, yeah, next week we're going to have someone on from the development of this game. So if you'd like to know more about it, it's really cool. I'll talk about it here when we get to what I've been playing. So, speaking of what we've been playing, Dustin, what have you been up to, man?
I played some Dead Space.
Awesome. You are really getting in the... I mean, it's basically like October 12th for you.
Right. I want to play some horror game streams in October. But I was like I was in chapter 10 of 12.
Okay.
In Dead Space, and I wanted to get all the way through it and then do like a new Game Plus run.
Nice. I need to get... I played the first couple hours of it and got distracted. Someday I will get that knocked off my list.
Oh, it's so good.
So, I guess, what do you expect to get from it? You've beaten this game several times.
Mm-hmm. This is one of 3 games. No, one of 2 games ever in my life that I have gone through and beaten on every difficulty level.
That's pretty... That shows... You're not kidding. I mean, this is one of your favorite games of all time.
Yeah,
it's a top 5 game.
Yeah, it's a bucket list game. I actually got this. It's one of 3 platinum trophies that I have.
Okay.
So yes,
I have
Dead Space is so good.
Is one of your 3 finishing Walking Dead season?
I think so. Yes,
that's the only one I have. That felt really nice of them.
Yeah, here you go.
Like, here you go.
Why not?
Even though that first season of Walking Dead, there was a lot of want for me to replay it again, to try to be the jerk or side with different people. I never did it, but I may have considered it if it would have been that easy to get the trophy. Just to say I did. But man, when I beat it, or when I finish it, you don't beat Walking Dead. You just get through it.
You survive.
You survive.
Well, you didn't. Spoilers.
So yeah, Dead Space. Oh, I got Outlast for free.
Oh yes.
So,
Tony got that, and I want to get one of you guys to play it live.
Maybe.
He said he didn't want video evidence of him crapping his pants on the internet. And I was like, imagine the hits.
I'm okay with that, I think.
Yeah.
I'd shit myself for the show, for the
right.
greater good of the show.
10,000 finally?
To finally hit 10,000 subs, yeah. These last 15 are taking forever, but I'll do what I got to do, right? But yeah, I got Outlast. I might try. I'm definitely going to stream some more Haunted 86.
Yeah. God, I got to buy that game.
And then yeah, maybe I'll do some Outlast. Saturday afternoon, lights on. I will play with headphones. No webcam though.
Oh, you gotta have webcam.
No, that's played out.
Okay.
And
I want to do webcam stuff, but I don't have I would want to set up a green screen. I wouldn't want just like a chunk of my office in the background. I think that looks bad.
Sometimes in certain games it works well. Like when Brian Kibler does it on Hearthstone, looks awesome because it's that kind of a game that fits well. But yes, if he was playing a horror game and you see this bright office, takes away from it. Yeah, I've thought about doing a green screen because I could just drop it from my overhang right here, but I'd have to be up further. I don't know. The last thing I need is another layer of technical issues to potentially have.
I mean, I get ready to stream, and I'll remember, like, oh, I got to do the description, and that almost makes me quit.
Right?
I'm just like, son of a bitch! I gotta put stuff in that just stupid box.
There's been delays of the podcast being released because of exactly that. Like, I'm like, I am not in the mood to, and it's simple.
Yeah.
It's just so tedious. I'm like, I'm not doing that right now. It's coming out tomorrow.
They'd be like, oh, let's play some video games. Oh, I gotta make a thumbnail. To hell with this. I'm gonna burn my computer.
Zarek does make a point. He says you can buy a green sheet and use OBS for like $10. It's true, but then you also need good lighting, and then you got Then there's tutorials, and I don't think it's a cost issue that's really holding you back.
Right.
If a description's going to hold you back,
it's the time and effort portion.
A green screen looks like the wall in Game of Thrones. Then, if a description is like, nah, I'm not. I want to sit down and spend 2 hours playing a video game on the internet, but I don't want to waste the time to do a thumbnail, so I'm not gonna waste my time.
Or I'll do something stupid. I'll get a green screen, but then I'll do the OBS settings so that my shirt disappears and it's just a green background.
I love when Day 9 does that. Because gray shirts can also mess with it a little bit.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes he just flat out, he's like, I love this shirt. So he's just a floating head. Day 9 is just unbelievable. Something about that guy. He just cracks me up. Yeah, it's really funny. If you want to see how much fun he has playing Hearthstone and video games, there's been some best of Day 9s that have been released on YouTube that are really, really fun to watch. So, Zarek says he's got a description format. I copy and paste a vast majority of the description.
Yeah, same here.
And still, that's why we're not big. Zarek, you weren't a friend yet, but we've taken months and months off. We had a 6-month break one time just because no one felt like doing it. There was no... we just didn't... We weren't in the mood, so we just didn't do it. No one was mad at anybody. It was just no motivation. What are you going to do?
I get tired.
I mean, it's a hobby. You know, it's okay if we don't do stuff, I guess. It's a terrible mentality.
That's one of the great things about not being our income.
Yes. You don't feel bad if you're like, something came up.
Yeah.
Or I'm tired. Can we do another night? Yeah, sure. I'm busy. Okay. See you next week. I have really enjoyed though the last several years of us being pretty consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it a lot. But man, we got sloppy there in 2013, I guess I'd say. I don't know. So yeah. All right, man. You been playing anything else? Anything else on the 2 playlist?
I booted up Battlefield Bad Company.
Oh, that was one. Yeah, I was gonna say that was a big hit, right?
Yeah, it's on the Xbox only. It's exclusive to that console. It's not even on PC. But I got it today in the mail. If you want a Xbox 360 game or a PS3 game, buy it now. I got that game for $5.
Really?
Shipped. Yeah.
Oh, shipped.
Yeah, I didn't even pay shipping on it. Just $5.
That's someone just clearing out inventory.
Yeah. But anyway, I put it in and started it up, and then Solomon walked in. I was like, okay, well, that was good. I saw the opening cutscene.
Maybe next week. Well, that's cool. So I was playing Rocket League last week,
mm-hmm.
and Jeremy from the Cartoon Retrocast and I got randomly paired.
That's awesome.
Out of I don't know what servers he has selected. I have the East Coast and the West Coast for the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
But for us to be playing at the exact same time and get paired up, it was very bizarre because I didn't realize it was him because he has a really goofy Steam name, and I think he changes it. So they have a running joke on that show. Whenever I write in, they call me Scott Lamajama because it's a goof on my last name. So all of a sudden I'm playing Rocket League and someone says, I know that guy. And I was thinking to myself, oh, what are the odds it's two people I'm playing with know each other? And then all of a sudden he puts Scott Slamma-Jamma in the chat. And I'm like, holy shit. And so I thought it was just a random Cartoon Retrocast listener that may have. And then as soon as we got done, I knew it was Cartoon Retrocast. That's the only place I've ever been called that.
Yeah.
And then I thought to myself, I wonder if that was Jeremy. And I went to my friends list, and sure enough, it was Jeremy. Have you ever had that happen? Have you ever gotten paired with somebody that you knew in real life?
Mm-mm.
Blew my mind. It was very fun. And we won, and I got the MVP. I was feeling the pressure. Once I knew it was a Cartoon Retrocast person, I'm like, oh, I got to show up. I do a video game podcast. I suck at Rocket League. It was one of my better performances. I was proud.
Although, you know what? Now that I think about it, I did have a weird case where you and I had just started talking, and I think we just became Steam friends.
Okay.
And I have a distant cousin who's also named Scott.
Okay.
And he friended me on Steam and started talking to me. I was like, he's like, hey, man, how you doing? I'm like, oh, Scott, hey, how you doing? Thinking it was you. And he was like, you know who this is, man? I was like, yeah, it's Scott. He's like, yeah, man, we're family.
Like, you're probably like, hey, yeah, we do a podcast. You're getting a little ahead of yourself.
He was like, yeah, man, we're relatives. We're blood, man. We're family. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Why does Scott think we're related? Like, what? And then finally, I realized it was Scott, my distant cousin, not you.
It's a common.
I was like, are we really related? How did this happen?
That actually might make sense. Like, you would think like two relatives would show up on the Retro League forums.
Right. So,
it's funny. I bought Bruce Hornsby's "The Way It Is" album on whoever did that remaster is unbelievable. Well, I'm looking at the packaging today. On the back of it, it says produced by Huey Lewis.
Hey.
So it blows me away. So I send a text to my brother. I'm like, mind blown, and I show him the picture. Mm-hmm. He sends back to me, holy shit. Also, I just downloaded that album this week. Like, so maybe it wouldn't be that crazy. So yeah, I got paired up with Jeremy, and that was a lot of fun. Go check out the Cartoon Retrocast at cartoonretrocast.com. Or is it It's just cartoonretrocast.com. Or on Facebook, search for the Cartoon Retrocast, and you'll find those guys. Mike and Jeremy, good friends, and they put on an awesome show. Also, we had our developer reach out to us for an Android iOS game. It's called Chimpy Pop. So I played it. It's kind of got the aesthetics of like Monkey Ball. And
okay,
it's a free-to-play game. They run ads. I haven't run into any free-to-play stuff yet. It's got to be in there, but I haven't run into it yet. And it didn't ask for permissions when I installed it. Like, can we see your contacts and your media and all that? So it was free, and they did ads, and they didn't ask for permissions. So it was a good experience to start with. It runs really well. It does. It looks like GameCube graphics. And the point is that there are bananas on the screen, and there's palm trees, and there's monkeys coming out of palm trees. And you tap on the monkeys to throw a coconut at them. That's it. But
what about the bananas?
What?
What about the bananas?
Well, if they're still there, then you get to progress. And if the monkeys get the bananas, you're toast.
Okay, I get it.
So you're protecting the bananas.
Yeah. I thought you were trying to get the bananas, but you're not.
No. And it's very responsive. You want to tap really fast, and it allows you to do that. Cool. But yeah, so shout out to... Now, I think this name's French, so I'm going to... The developer is Dan de Entremont. I think that's how it's pronounced. Yeah. Or I could do my insulting Southern accent version. The Entremont. So somewhere in between what I just said, both ways, is where how you pronounce it. But it had 5 stars on Google Play. It had maybe only 5,000 or so downloads. So the people that have played it have given it good ratings. It hasn't blown up. It's not big. So are you insulted by my southern twang?
It's somewhere in the middle of France and Walmart. Somewhere in there.
Isn't that life?
Yeah.
So
That's where the secret of life is. Somewhere between France and Walmart.
So big questions being answered here tonight, folks. But yeah, Chimpy Pop, it's available on iOS and Android, and thank Dan very much for reaching out to us. I liked it. I'm going to keep playing it, so we shall see. It has like a very fast, Plants vs. Zombies feel, where you just have waves of things you're just trying to clear out as fast as you can. But I've only played I played maybe half hour of it, so maybe game mechanics change as it kind of goes on. Next, I played some Halo 5 multiplayer with Tony.
Okay.
We played SWAT, which is all pistols or pistols only, no radar, and almost one-hit kills.
Okay.
Very good if you're bad at Halo, because you can get lucky. So that was good for me. And also, I'm almost done with the campaign of Halo 5. I don't know what it is. I really like Halo games. I loved Halo 1. I loved Reach, and I love 5. It's fun. I'm allowed to be bad at it and still progress. There's some boss fights in it. I am on mission 13 out of 15. So nearly done. I have probably an hour left to play, and I'll be done. And Halo 5's multiplayer also is still very vibrant. It takes no time to find matches.
Cool.
So, Halo 5, it's probably $15 now, and if you liked Halo in the day, you got an Xbox One. I'm glad I have it. Like, thank you very much to Tony for giving this to me. I've gotten a lot of enjoyment out of it. It's also nice because the voice chat's really good on Xbox. So for us to be able to casually play a few rounds of multiplayer and just plugging a headset into my controller is outrageously convenient. Like, it's really, really good.
Is it better than last gen?
It sounds as good as you and I do right now.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
It's not better, it's good. And I just use earbuds that came with a cell phone. And Tony says I sound fine, and I think that's all he's using.
Cool.
And we were having some issues, so we did play one night where we used just a phone call. And that was shitty. So directly through the Xbox was a very good experience.
Cool.
Yeah. Because I'm not playing. I'm playing, like, my Xbox is in my room. So I'm chilling in bed. I don't want to, like, bring out a laptop or anything like that. So
yeah.
Halo 5, very fun. And then lastly, I've been playing Hob. So we'll talk a little bit about that game. I'm a few hours in, so I don't know how it's going to end. Maybe I'll burn out on the game and not like it. But the first several hours, I'm hooked. I really like it a lot. I'm not sure what's going on. There's no words. There's no voice acting. But kind of like Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, how there's noises that show communication. You start off and you're a little dude that kind of looks like someone from, like, the Journey guy.
Yeah.
A little bit. The art world looks like somewhere like Borderlands and Bastion.
Cool.
It feels like something from the Torchlight people as far as the graphics, but it doesn't play anything like Torchlight. And the game starts off and you run into a robot, and then this big purple spike hits you, and you start growing all this purple out of your arm, and the robot sees it and chops your arm off. And then you wake up, and the robot's arm is gone, and it's on you. And so you got this, like, Hellboy-looking arm.
Sweet.
And then a free arm, and the game kind of starts, and through puzzles and platforms, you just kind of feel like you're making progress. You don't know what you're doing, but it feels good to progress, because as soon as you solve a puzzle, sometimes the environment changes completely. So you'll do something, and the whole world will change on you. You can level up your arm. There's clearly inventory slots of stuff to do, but it's still pretty obscure. Eventually, I got a sword. It's isometric, kind of top-down like Diablo or A Link to the Past. Mm-hmm. It feels very much like A Link to the Past with that different art aesthetic, and I really, really like it. The combat is so far, I feel weak. I'm looking forward to leveling up my combat abilities more. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm throwing grapes, Dustin.
Yeah. I hate that feeling.
It's awful. But I know that there's clearly a tree. There's things to unlock. So, and if you do get hit, enemies drop. I couldn't tell if they were tomatoes or apples or what, but it's kind of like a heart piece from Zelda.
Okay.
So, Hob so far is really good. I think it's $20. It's on PS4. It's on Steam. And next week we'll have one of the developers on to talk about it. I did hear Giant Bomb talking about it, and they did say the PS4 version has performance issues right now.
Okay. That seems to be kind of how it happens nowadays.
Yeah. So it sounds like maybe the PC is the way to go. I have a third generation. Yeah, I have a third generation Core i7 processor and an NVIDIA 970. So it's right now kind of middle of the road. As far as PCs, and it runs buttery smooth for me. So
cool.
PC is probably the way to go right now. But Hob is really fun. It gives a really good first impression. I'm excited to finish the game.
Here we go. Already got the sequel. You team up with a guy who's an archer. It's called Habanero.
Dude. I don't know why I didn't get the pun at first. I was like, why is he bringing up a pepper? Dude.
You're welcome, Runic Games. You can have that one.
Wow. That would be amazing. Even if it's just DLC. Oh, that's the big reveal. That's the rabbit or the robot's name. So here's a weird part about this. I'm intrigued enough about what's going on to want to keep playing because they show me a robot, right? Mm-hmm. It cuts off my arm to save my life and then gives me his arm to make me better, right? Mm-hmm. Well, I come across these robots that are dead, and in like a Castlevania Lords of Shadow or Dark Souls, you come across somebody and you can kind of pickpocket them. Mm-hmm. Your character just punches these dead robots in the face and pulls this blue orb out of their face and then like breaks it in their hand and it charges up and makes their arm more powerful.
Like real life.
Like real life, as you do. But what's weird is my first introduction is I'm supposed to trust and like this robot. Mm-hmm. Then when I'm coming across other robots, I rip their face off. I want to know what's going on. And also going down ladders can suck sometimes. Mm-hmm. The scooting down a ladder in this game is so satisfying and fast. Sweet. It's wonderful. So hopefully I'll continue to enjoy it. All right, man, let's get to our comments and then we will call it a show.
Let's do it.
So I'm turned around. Can you take whatever we need to talk about?
I will do Tony's comment.
Okay.
He says, "Hey guys, 4 weeks in a row of me listening. The world must be coming to an end. Damn global warming. I love it when Dustin starts to go on a retro gaming run with his words. Seriously, when you start talking about some of those obscure retro games, I realize that you are a gaming god, and I am just a peon on a small continent in the gaming universe.
True story.
Keep it up, man. Great stuff. Glad to hear. Well, okay, so I can pull stuff like that, but I like
keep up the charade, man. Just fake it.
It's just so easy for me. All of it, even all of life. He goes on to say, glad to hear Wolfenstein 3D made it to the PC Mac Gaming Championships. If for no other reason than the fact that it is part of my childhood. It was the sole game I owned on my first real PC, even though it was a demo version. that Packard Bell 386 ran that game like a dream.
Yeah, dude.
Nazi killing never felt so good, or no, never felt so smooth. It had to be the 4 megabytes of RAM at work on all cylinders. Thanks to Demez for the Final Fantasy 3/6 ROM patch. I'm diving in for the first time this weekend on a task to finish my first retro JRPG. Dustin, love the green skeleton, just noticed it. Dustin is the George Carlin of retro games.
Just make too much sense, man. Man, I really do miss George Carlin right now. He would be having a field day in our current political climate. It would be gut-bustingly funny.
Yeah.
I mean, you can look up his old stuff and it still applies, but I'd love to hear him comment specifically.
Speaking of skeletons, I think I'm gonna get a second one and have them like right here.
Okay.
And I'm gonna call them Molder and Scully.
Scully, there you go. I like it. Do you have the cotton webbing?
Mm-hmm.
Did you do that before in the past? Have you?
Like on my games?
Yeah, over your shelves.
Maybe.
Is that something I wanted you to do, or did you do it? You should totally go crazy with that.
Okay. I have like brand new packs just waiting.
Awesome. I would expect nothing else.
Like, you know how some guys carry around a condom in their wallet at all times?
You always have webbing.
I have a cargo pocket full of webbing just in case.
A real life Spider-Man.
Okay, he goes on to say, and your Facebook daily Halloween jokes. Those are also some. I usually put those on our Twitter too. So if you follow Classic Lead on Twitter,
do that. They've been great. They've been really good. Because we don't get notifications when either of us post it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to have on our Twitter bio run by two people. Sometimes our streams cross, but that's like too wordy, so I don't. But I'll go back and look to see, like on our. I'll look for a video that we linked or something like that, and I'll see these awesome dad jokes. I love it. Okay.
He says, I looked up the Tomb Raider poster. That does look crazy. Scott, you brought up Ex Machina. I love that movie.
The new Alex Garland trailer dropped today for Annihilation.
Annihilation? What is that?
I don't know. I got 5 seconds into the trailer, and I'm like, nope, done. I'm
okay.
Sold.
I just saw a bunch of people compliment. Oh, wait, it was, what's her face? Zelda Williams.
Yeah, I saw her tweet about it. I saw a bunch of people. It was big news on like the trending movie stuff that Google now knows that I want to see. Yeah, man, that dude, he's probably a real douchebag, but I adore his movies.
Yeah.
I almost feel like it's a shock when there's a really, really good artist and they're nice.
Yeah.
Like Dave Grohl's super popular partly because he's so goddamn nice.
He just seems like a dude.
Just like, yeah. I watched some interviews with Alex Garland. I feel like he might know he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever. He did 28 Days Later and Sunshine and Ex Machina. Like, the dude knows what he's doing. The only reason I checked to see, I wanted to see when the Halo thing, if there was any updates on him doing the Halo script. And then Annihilation news was there. It's like, hell yeah. What a weird timing. Okay, sorry. I just Ex Machina was brought up. I had to say Alex Garland is dropped a trailer.
Line of the week from Scott. If she doesn't have huge boobs, then just leave them alone.
I got in a weird spot with that, so.
Runner-up line of the week from Scott. I'm a sucker for armpits, by the way, for all you ladies out there listening. Like that you guys brought up some movies. Ghost in the Shell is on my list, so I hope to see it soon. Staying awake for movies is not easy these days, man. I second that. The other day, I was watching a horror movie. It was really good. It was kind of spooky. And I just couldn't keep my eyes open. For the life of me, I was sitting in the recliner watching it. And, like, a jump scare would happen and the orchestral sting would hit. And I'd just, like open my eyes, like, oh.
What were they just saying?
How'd they get here? What a miss. Time to go to bed. Staying away from movies is not easy these days. I am an old man. Scott, glad you were enjoying Halo 5 and Van Helsing. Look forward to playing with you more. All I need in this life is more time. I did a video on my scrappy PC upgrade. You should have it should have it published by the time you read this comment. Another great episode, guys.
Tony, you can post it next week. He got Hob to run really well on his PC, and also Diablo 3 is running really smooth. So his budget PC is doing quite well so far. But yeah, he got Diablo 3 as well, so that's in our repertoire. It's been nice though. We've been able to hang out and play games at night here over the last couple weeks, and it's been really cool.
Cool.
It's nice to play games without having a focus on, all right, I'm making content. Like, I'm just sitting down to
You're not worried
hang
about
out.
the stream or
being
entertaining or
how many frames am I dropping?
Right.
So yeah, good deal, Tony. He was going to try to make it in chat tonight, but could not. He's going to be back on soon, though. Like, not just in chat, but he's going to come join again for a proper episode.
Hey.
So, exciting stuff there. So Dumez says, this is not related to last week's podcast, but he says, I just figured out what the name of Probotector means. He says, he says, it's a protector, but you shove a Robob in the middle of protector, a robot that protects.
Probotector.
Yep. That's really good.
Yeah. I like Probotector.
I just thought it was a silly translation thing. Like, we have Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I just thought it was... There's probably a little bit of truth into it. There's probably actually thought put into it. I want to believe that's the case anyways. Dumbass says... that dude Hugh, he's sure quite the card, isn't he? He also says, you slag on Tail? Second player Tails is invincible, literally. Yeah, that's the problem.
That tells us. Tails.
Moving on. He also says, this review bomb thing could also be the benefit in reverse. He says, imagine something like Arkham Knight, which launched total shit, but they later fixed it, and it's now awesome. That could be important information as well. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. No Man's Sky is a really good example of that. You look how horrible it launched, and if you look at its most recent, it's positive and very positive. So, yeah. And I was one of the lucky ones. I didn't have Arkham Knight issues. And I was okay with it at 30 frames a second. And that game is very fun. I really liked Arkham Knight. Dumbass also says the CEMU team is raking in tens of thousands of dollars constantly. That is nuts. Where are the Nintendo ninjas on that one? The CEMU. I don't know what that is. I don't know. I don't know if that's a typo or our lack of knowledge.
Is it like an emulator? CEMU?
I have no idea.
Should we Google it or just wait for him to respond next week?
Wait for him.
Okay.
He also says more about Final Fantasy evade bug, the Final Fantasy 3 evade bug. He says it also affects enemies, so you will never miss them either. But different characters are supposed to have different land rates. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have patched it. Should have just clobbering people. He says, my thoughts on the Pro Controller for the Switch is, I figure if I want a Pro Controller for Player 2 sometimes, so I bought a real Pro Controller because it's awesome, and I can usually use it as a main controller for me. But then I realize I also need 2 more Joy-Cons for ARMS multiplayer. So I just have it all then. I thought he was going to say, so I decided against it. He's like, nope, get it all.
I just bought everything.
He tried out I was having issues with a game. He did not. I was having double jump issues with that 36 Fragments to Midnight game. Mm-hmm. He did not. So I don't know. I don't think it's user error because it was so constant.
Yeah.
And I've double jumped before. So
In real life.
In real life. Well, obviously. Like, I kick my... every time we're done recording, I jump and kick my heels up and freeze in the air for a second, and then... I don't know. It happened to me in TV mode and docked, so I don't think it was a Joy-Con communication issue, but it might be just... Maybe there's something wrong with that button on my Joy-Con. I'm glad it was just me, though. That would suck if a game just didn't work like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with some user error on that part. So that's going to be it for the show this week. I want to thank everybody very much for joining. Thomas, make sure to enjoy some Hob. It's very fun. Dustin, anything you wanted to mention before I wrap up?
The remake of Metroid 2.
Is that what you think the CMU is? Another Metroid 2 remake?
Oh no, I was gonna mention. Has it been reviewed well? Like everybody's been.
Oh, that 3DS game?
Yeah,
I think so. I think people like it.
You mentioned Lords of Shadow. The Mercury Steam guys made that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't know that until like the other day. I was like, oh man.
I thought it was received well. Zero Punctuation, I saw, did a review of it, so I'll be curious to see. He usually shreds stuff.
Yeah.
But the Giant Bomb Quick Look, they seem to have positive things to say about it.
Okay. All right. So good on them, because Mirror of Fate was not great.
No, that was I really disliked that.
Yeah.
It's very rare for me to take a game back or try to exchange it in, and that was one of them that I did.
The only reason I own it is because it's a Castlevania game.
Yeah. Well, and that stinks because the Castlevania handheld games are generally very good.
Yeah.
Like in the DS realm or anything like that. Thomas, all we need from you is a way for us to send you something privately. So you can email us, you can Twitter, whatever you would like, you can put it in the chat and I'll email it to you if you want. Whatever you want to do, or Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, YouTube. Those are all the places. You should follow us.
MySpace.
I should.
Friendster.
We should just try to see what legacy ones are still technically alive.
Jake.
Foursquare.
I
don't know.
Get on Xbox 360 and meet in a Shadowrun server.
There you go.
PlayStation Home.
Get a new IRC channel.
Darknet. Download Tor.
There you go. We'll just all... If you can be tracked, you can't watch our show. Wouldn't that be funny if we were in the dark web, but we're the like straight, narrow, clean show?
Yeah.
Like we're trying to clean this dark web up a little bit.
We'd have to start like, this is not a snuff film podcast.
Nothing past rated R, okay?
Really PG-13.
Mostly PG-13, but well, actually, and if it's some of the 80s horror movies, they're PG.
Yeah.
Like, not everything was R back then. So, that's going to be it for the show this week. Make sure to, our streaming schedule's been a little erratic lately. So if you'd like to watch us stream, you can hit the notification icon, little bell thing on YouTube, and follow us. And we usually send out tweets when we're about to start, so you can follow us on Twitter as well. I want to thank Ben Landis very much for letting us use his song Through the Forest. If you would like to listen to the audio version of the podcast, you can get the RSS feed at our website, classicleet.com, or, the MP3s are there to download as well, and our whole archive. Also, we're on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Music, Stitcher, Podbean, SoundCloud, all that stuff. For social media, we are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Our username is just classicleet, classic L337. If you have any emails you'd like to send to us, listener feedback, questions, contacts about streaming your game or anything like that, if you're a developer, You can contact us at classicelite.com or classicelite@gmail.com. I was looking at the website thing there, Dustin. Also, our SoundCloud, I share songs that I usually play at the end of the song. If you'd like to support the show, you can click on the Amazon affiliate links in the description on our YouTube channel or in the podcast RSS feed, or whatever you use to download it. You will have Amazon affiliate links there. Also, we have Super Chat that's enabled when we are live streaming. And I turned on the new subscribe feature on YouTube. I don't anticipate anybody to subscribe, but it's there. I guess you can subscribe to us like Netflix, which is insane. So it's there if you're crazy. For outro music this week, Dustin, I was over at Neon Dystopia. I was looking at their September dossier.
Oh, I need to head over there.
2 French words this week. I found an artist over there named Wave Shaper.
Okay.
The song I liked is called 16-Bit Computer. And it's cyberpunk and chiptune, so it's awesome. It's best of both worlds there. So, yeah, we'll put a link in the chat if you're in chat and you want to check the song out. Hopefully you'll enjoy it. That's going to be it for the week, for this week. So thank you very much for listening to episode 248 of the Classic Elite Podcast, and we will see you next week for episode 249.
Boosh.
All right. That's going to be it for this stream. I've got to shut it down to help with editing. But congratulations, Tom. Thanks for hanging out with us. Glad we could get you a game. Night Fox, good to see you. Zarek, JC, Babs. Also, Cyro Derek, nice to see a new face coming around. Very cool. Mm-hmm. And, yeah, I think that's everybody. So, shout out to and also Hugh Johnson, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Still around. Thank you very much. So, all right, we'll see everybody later. Have a good night.
Peace.